Hey guys, how we doing? And welcome back to beginner bass lessons. So today we're going to start talking about minor triads and their first and second inversions, right? So last sort of lesson we were working with major triads and their first inversions and their second inversions, okay? The video's on the channel if you guys want to check it out. So we're kind of going to do a similar thing just with minor triads, right? So remember we said that when we talk about triads, there are patterns, you know, and we can play the same pattern all over the instrument. But ideally we should be thinking about triads or arpeggios in general, right, when we get to sevenths and stuff, as stacking thirds. So major, we've got the root, we've got a major third, and then we stack a minor third to get to our fifth with a minor arpeggio, a minor triad I should say. We start with the root, so we're going to start in C, and we actually firstly stack a minor third to get to that E flat, and then a major third to the G. Okay. Remember, all these tabs will be on Patreon if you guys are interested in taking this a bit further. So we've got this minor triad, right? So we've got root, minor third, major third. Okay, and that's great. And we can move it all around the cycle of fourths. So again, if you haven't watched that video, the reason we use the cycle of fourths is because it means we play it in all 12 keys, right? There's 12 keys in Western music, and when we're practicing, be it a groove, a riff, an arpeggio, a triad, scale, we need to be practicing in all 12 keys, okay? So we've got this minor triad, and we're playing it in the root position, which means we're starting on the root note, okay? But what if we want to start on the third or start on the fifth, right? And this is where inversions come in. So we've got a minor triad in root position. Now, first inversion, we're still playing a minor triad, but rather than start on the root of C, we're going to start on the third of E flat. So we play the third, the fifth, and then the roots just an octave higher. Okay, so when we play the minor triad in first position, we play C, E flat, G. But in first inversion, we would play E flat, G, C, yeah? So third, fifth, first, or root, okay? So, and again, remember the tabs will be on Patreon for this if you guys need them. So we've got this first inversion, okay? So we need to firstly get it under our fingers, make sure it feels quite comfortable. Remember, when you start, forget about time and metronomes and stuff. For now, just get used to feeling comfortable, okay? Okay, so that's our first inversion. Third, fifth, back to the root. So, second inversion, we're going to be starting on the G, okay? We're going to be starting on the fifth. And this time, we're going to play the fifth, the root, and then the third, okay? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the triad in root position, then first inversion, then second inversion. And I just want you guys to listen and see if you can see the difference within the sound, okay? So let's start in root position. Root, root, first inversion. Can you hear the difference? Second inversion. Start again. And again. Okay. So I made a few mistakes there as well. But there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, right? You know, it tells us what we've got to work on. And, you know, mistakes are a good thing. We always want to be practicing the things that, you know, we're not doing so fluently. So that, for me, tells me I need to come back and practice a little more, okay? So we've now got minor triad in root, minor triad, first inversion, okay, and we did the minor triad in second. So what we're going to do, again, take your time, make sure it feels comfortable, and then we're going to move it around again, all 12 keys. So we're going to go back to that cycle of fourths. Yeah. So again, please check out the channel, watch the video if you haven't watched it before. So we're going to start nice and slow, and what we're going to do, we're just going to start with root position. Okay, no metronome, take it as slow as you want. Okay, and we're just going to move it around, all 12 keys in root position. And you hear that you've got that sort of perfect cadence, the resolution between G and C, perfect fifth, back to the root. So we've got that under our fingers. So now we want to do it again, but with including the first inversion, right? So we want to play root, first inversion. Okay, so again, I made a few mistakes and in there, you know, it wasn't as smooth as it could have been. And that's good, you know, because then we can come back and I know what I've got to work on as well. So we've played minor triad, it's root position, around all 12 keys, first inversion, all 12 keys. So now you've got to do the second inversion, right? So again, we're going to start on C and we're going to see how we get on. So so I lost it towards the end. And that's kind of where I want to leave it today, right? Obviously, I need to go back and work on it a bit more as well. But like I said, tabs, backing tracks, as well as other things are over on Patreon, such as live recordings of my practice routine. So if you want the tabs, go and shoot over there. And yeah, I'm gonna practice as well, and we're gonna get root position, first inversion, second inversion, under our fingers, moving it around, cycle of fourths, getting that nice and comfortable. And I think next lesson we're going to sort of take what we've learned, right? Minor triads, major triads, their inversions, and we're going to start using them together, right? As you would in a walking bass line, for example. Okay, so thanks very much, guys. We'll leave it there. Go and grab your tabs on Patreon, and I'll see you next lesson, all right?